started one last.
Everyone, today is Tuesday, January 25th, 2022. Time is 2:07 p.m. Officially calling this meeting to order. Attending in person are Commissioners Duncan and Filios. Joining us by phone from his office is Commissioner Bill Brooks. Is Bill on?
He didn't say.
Bill? Oh, okay. And so anyway, Ronnie, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let me get this thing going here. Sorry, folks, I'm a little behind here. We had a little incident earlier. Okay. Okay then, so do we have any changes to the agenda?
No.
Hearing none. Okay. So our first item is to approve the meeting minutes, potential action item.
I move that we approve items 1 through 6.
Second.
Bill Brooks, is he not on? Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chairman Filios?
Aye, and the motion is carried. Moving on to the consent calendar.
I move we approve items 7 through 13.
Second.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chairman Filios?
Aye. Motion is carried. Moving on from there.
Payables. I move that we.
Payables, please.
Yep. I move that we approve the payables for the week of January 17th through the 21st, 2022, in the amount of $629,356.40. There are also jury panel payments in the amount of $2,072.08.
Second.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chairman Filios?
Aye. Motion is carried. Okay, beginning with our business items now. Bid opening, bid number 2022-01, solid waste farm landfill operations, building, solid waste, action item.
We have one sealed bid from
Okay.
TML Construction. All right. It's my favorite part. Let's hunt for the information I need to read. Okay, I think this looks good. All right. So there's a Schedule A, and that amount is $542,000. Schedule B is $591,000.
JP, does that work for you?
Is there anything else that I should look for?
Just looking for an acknowledgement of the bid and then to go ahead and turn that bid over to solid waste department.
Okay.
I move that we acknowledge receipt of the bid and give it to Legal and Solid Waste for review.
Second.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chairman Filios?
Aye. Motion is carried. Item number 16. Law enforcement protection, well, it's actually second in our business segment, but anyway, law enforcement protection contract with the city of Coeur d'Alene and our sheriff. Under Sheriff Mattos, Dan, please.
Captain Nelson.
Oh,
Actually, it's Brett Nelson, Captain, on behalf of the Sheriff's Department. Come before you this afternoon seeking approval and renewal of the MOU we've had in existence for some years between the county and the city of Coeur d'Alene for enforcement and police protection on the waterways throughout the county that is defined in the restricted areas with the attachment that was presented to you within the city of Coeur d'Alene.
Do we have one of these with Post Falls, or is Post Falls not annexed any water?
No, we
I
don't.
believe it's only with the city.
it's only with Coeur d'Alene.
Correct.
Okay, motion.
I move that we approve the law enforcement protection contract with the city of Coeur d'Alene and the Sheriff's Department.
Second.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chairman Filios?
Aye, and the motion is carried. Thank you, Brett. Item number 17, Memorandum of Agreement with Kootenai County and the Fair Board. Sheriff, who's handling that? Is anyone online?
Deputy Franson, are you
Deputy,
handling?
I am on the line.
Go ahead.
So the sheriff's office hopes to renew the contract. You should have a copy of it. It's for basically securing displaced animals or large animals that we need to secure for investigations or until adjudication of criminal matters and those types of things. Typically large animals, and they're cared for by members of our animal control during that process.
Okay, any questions?
Nope.
Motion?
I move that we approve the memorandum of agreement with Kootenai County Fair Board and the Sheriff's Department.
Second.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, motion's carried. Item number 19, Willamette 18, renewal of the contract with Delta Dental for 2022 with change in eligibility only to the first month after hire. And this is with Delta Dental. And who's speaking for HR? Dorothy?
Dorothy Cross.
Yeah, go right ahead. Oh, yeah, go ahead,
And
Dorothy.
This is just what it says. It is extending our contract that we already have. There's no changes in cost. It's just changing eligibility to first of the month after hire rather than first of the month after 60 days.
Okay. Any questions?
Nope.
Motion?
I move that we approve the contract renewal with Delta Dental for 2022.
Second.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion's carried. Item number 19, Willamette contract addendum for 2022 year, no rate increase, Willamette Dental. Dorothy, I think you might have already covered this.
Oh, it's,
No.
It is exactly the same thing,
Oh,
for
okay.
only this is with Willamette.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right, different Willamette.
yeah.
Okay, motion, please.
I move that we approve the Willamette contract addendum for 2022.
Second.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, motion is carried. Next item, fiscal year 23 Waterways Improvement Fund grant application for the Sheriff Marine Truck Replacement, Sheriff Marine Truck Replacement grant application with the Idaho Department of Parks and Rec for $40,000, and there's a cash match vessel fund of $20,000. Resource Management Office, Jody?
Yes, so the request is to replace the current Marine Sergeant vehicle that was a 2014 GMC 3/4 ton. And as you mentioned, the total cost, the grant request is $40,000 for our state and then $20,000 match coming from the vessel account for a total of $60,000.
Okay, fair enough. Any questions?
I guess my only question would be, it talks about, and I don't know if you can answer this, that the trickle down would be to the air unit. We don't have any air unit approved yet, so I don't know if we want to adjust that, or I don't know.
So I believe that the vehicle itself for the request is to replace. I think that there are other individuals that may be a recipient of the truck. What we can do, if you'd like, in this particular application is make notation that there isn't an air unit and that it would go to the next request in terms of who would need the vehicle for distribution.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
fine.
just
That
make it
makes
more
sense.
general. That way it's
Yep.
not,
You're not bound to a specific
yeah.
application.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make that adjustment.
Okay.
I move that we approve the FY23 Waterways Improvement Fund grant application with the Sheriff's Department for the marine truck replacement.
Second.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, motion's carried. Item 21, fiscal year 23 Waterways Improvement Fund grant okay, this is also with the Sheriff. Marine Division Sonar Boat Repower Grant application, once again with the Idaho Department of Parks and Rec for $42,669. The cash match from the vessel funds is also $42,669, so it's a 50-50 split. or 50/50 addition. Go right ahead, Jody.
So this is for the purpose of this project is to replace the current motors in their 1991 Almar 27-foot vessel. And as you mentioned, $42,669 would come from the vessel account. The grant match request from the state is $42,669 for a total of $85,338.
Thank you. Motion?
I move that we approve the FY23 Waterways Improvement Fund grant application for the Marine Division sonar boat repower.
Second.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chairman Philios?
Aye. Motion's carried. Item 22, fiscal year 23 hazard fuel reduction fire grant for Canfield Mountain Natural Area with the Veteran Centennial Park Best Hill grant application. And once again, Idaho Department of Lands at an amount of $240,000 and no match. Go ahead, Jody.
So this is to conduct hazard fuel mitigation in the Canfield natural area of approximately 18 acres, the Cancourse area 28.5 acres, 7.5 acres in the Veterans Centennial Natural Park area. And if there's any funds available left over from the 240, we would then target Best Hill to protect the radio tower and its ridgeline location.
Okay.
As you had mentioned, the grant request is $240,000 with no match.
Okay.
Okay.
Motion?
I move that we approve the FY23 hazard fuel reduction fire grant for the locations listed with Idaho Department of Lands.
Second.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chairman Philios?
Aye. Motion's carried. Item 23, Advisory Board, to discuss remaining openings on the Advisory Board and existing applications. Potential action. Go ahead, Leslie.
Yes, we have 4. Let me grab my sheet here. 4 advisory boards that still have openings. Parks and Waterways has 2 openings and 2 applicants. I would recommend that we bring forward Casey Price. Parks and Waterways is moving a little bit away from waterways and more into parks. And I think that Casey, with the 4 young kids and being active in the community, would be a good choice. And then the other applicant, which I actually don't have his name in front of me, I say that we bring him in for an interview.
Okay, fair enough. What is Casey's background? Do you know?
Real estate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then,
Go ahead.
well, yeah, I guess direction. Do you want me to bring it forward, or what do you want to do?
Okay, so if we're going to interview one, should we interview Casey as well?
We can. We just know Casey, and we've talked to him several times. So
We
that's-
have.
Yes, yes. So he's the one that lives on the river with the 4 little boys.
Oh,
He's a younger man.
okay. You know what? Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, and we'll approve him.
Okay. All right. So I'll get one set up for interview, and we'll put Casey on for next week or the week after.
Fair enough.
Natural Resources, we have 2 openings and no applicants, so I probably would ask Natural Resources Board to work with Jonathan to get some advertisement.
Okay, go ahead.
Noxious Weeds has 3 openings, 1 applicant. So Kelly Hansen, who is our current chair, he has asked for reappointment.
Okay.
And I would recommend that we bring him forward
I'm
for
okay with that.
reappointment.
Okay.
And then once again, if they could work with Jonathan to get some advertisement out there. North Idaho Fair Board is asking for an alternate opening. There is 1 applicant for that, and I am probably fine with bringing that one forward as well.
Okay. Is the Fair Board okay with that?
Yes, the Fair Board's the one that suggested this person.
Okay, fair enough.
So, all right.
Okay, you ready for a motion?
I don't actually think I need a motion today because I just wanted to discuss the remaining openings and how you wanted to proceed.
Okay. So even though it's indicated as an action item, we can
Correct.
forego the motion. Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
All right, item 24, FAA grant application for construction of the snow removal equipment, also known as the SRE building. It's a grant application with the FAA. Stephen?
Commissioner Stephen Kiro, for the record, this is a grant application for $2,937,000. It is same as before we've done. It's just an application, but not a grant yet.
So, Stephen, we went out for bid. How did we go out for bid without the application?
So we did an application last year, and they never issued a grant for it. And this is just the new application for this year.
So we went out to bid without actually having the grant. We just went out to bid predicated on the
So they
application.
They require bids prior to issuing the grant anyways.
Gotcha. And then I'm just curious, why are we paying more than 5%?
So we listed 10% regardless, and then actually it's 7.5%.
Okay.
Because that's what the state guarantees, that they'll pay 2.5%, but they typically match at 5%.
Okay, so we're just kind of hedging our bets, hoping that they will come through with the 5%.
Yeah, but they should. They haven't put any money into any airport really in the last 4 years or 3 years, so
Okay.
to be 100% match our grant, so
And they're not hurting for cash.
no.
It's a whole nother thing anyway. Okay, motion.
All right, I move that we approve the FAA grant application for the snow removal equipment building.
Second.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chairman Philios?
Aye, motion's carried. Item 25, Resolution 2022-10, designate polling places per Idaho Code 34-302 and approve ballot order per Idaho Code 34-902 for the March 8th, 2022 school election. Asa, please.
Asa Gray for the record. Thank you, Commissioners. We have a very small election in March. Plummer-Worley Joint School District and Kellogg Joint School District, which we share, the Plummer-Worley with Benoit and Kellogg with Shoshone County, are running levies on the ballot. So we have 3 precincts that we will have operating. So we're just asking you to designate the polling places for those, please. They're the same as before. It's just Micah Flats Grange, the Medicine Mountain Grange in Meadowmont, and the Worley Community Center. And then in regards to ballot order, we're planning for a little bit higher turnout based on recent elections and how they've drawn interest than we normally would for a school election, just to be safe, since they're outerlying areas. We don't want to have to try to run ballots out to Worley at 5 p.m. if we don't have to. So outside of that, it's going to be a pretty small election compared to November, especially.
Right.
Okay.
One question, a little bit off topic.
Yes.
Can you do your precinct redistricting before the legislative redistricting is approved?
So we cannot, to my understanding, we cannot finalize the new precincts. We have been working with Dave from GIS to get some drafts on that, and we have a draft that we feel comfortable with if the Supreme Court upholds the current lines. If they don't, then
Back to the drawing board.
Yeah, because they could totally, if they say that there's a map out there that splits only 7 counties, that draws our legislative districts 7% under the population target, this county is going to look totally different than the current approved legislative plan. So I'm hoping, based on history from 10 years ago, that we'll get a ruling sometime this week. They ruled 13 days after the hearing 10 years ago, and 14 days will be this Friday, so I'm hoping to get something this week, but I don't believe that we can officially do precincts until after that, because they can't cross legislative lines.
So, last question, I promise. What is the deadline to meet the current deadlines for the primary if a new map is adopted?
So right now, candidate filing starts February 28th. So in my mind, if the Supreme Court doesn't do anything to the date of the primary or anything to say we're going to push this back, in my mind, we would need to have new precincts set before that date, because that's when precinct committee filing could start. Obviously, we'd love to not have them on the 28th itself. We'd love to have them well in advance. But to me, that would be the deadline that would have to be done by. I think it's worth noting that 10 years ago, when they did send it back to the commission met about a week after they sent it back to them and had new maps the next day. So I'm hoping if they do reject these, that we can get new maps fast and that no one challenges them.
Thank you.
So right now it rests with the court?
Yes.
And I think they heard testimony yesterday.
That was on the congressional redistricting map.
Oh.
The legislative one, they heard testimony a week and a half ago, Friday, I want to say it was like the 14th.
Okay.
And you expect a decision this week?
I'm hoping so. The sooner the better. It lets us all move forward.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Asa.
Absolutely.
Okay. Motion?
I move that we approve resolution number 2022-10, which is designating polling places and ballot order.
Second.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chairman Philios?
Aye, motion's carried. Excuse me, item 26, correspondence, board approval, National Transit Database, CEO certification for reporting purposes. Jody?
Yes, seeking board approval to perform the CEO certification, which in essence allows me to review the service data, assets, safety, and operating information and certify that it is correct for purposes of submitting it to FTA.
Okay. And I think you're the logical person to do this, Jody, because you're the one who's most familiar with it.
I just have one question, Jody. It says CEO. Wouldn't it be Director of Transit or something like that?
That's her, I think.
The NTD classifies that as CEO certification, meaning that someone can certify the data. It also then says that in the reporting guide that it can be the person who is the grant administrator, the person in charge of public transportation, or any of those. The role itself as CEO is just for purposes of having it be a common definition, not necessarily role related, but certification.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, fair enough. Motion.
I move that we approve the National Transit Database CEO certification for reporting purposes, naming Jody Beasy.
Second.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chairman Philios?
Aye, motion accepted, approved, whatever. Carried. Item 27, appoint Keith Hutchinson, Nick Snyder, Greg Manley, Nelson and Maxwell, Trueblood, Steiner, Merrifield, sorry, I don't know all the first names, to
It's okay.
Fleet Management Task Force, BOCC action.
Yeah, so I had a request to, I believe, substitute Astra Underdown for Melissa Merrifield on this committee. Since it's not listed on our agenda, we can go ahead and appoint her next week.
Okay,
But I would go ahead with the remaining people. I will note that Treasurer Matheson has agreed to be the not point person, but in case they had technical questions, they could reach out to him.
I'm fine. Motion.
Okay. I move that we appoint Hutchison, Snyder, Manley, Nelson, Maxwell, Trueblood, Steiner to the Fleet Management Task Force with Underdown coming next week.
Second.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chairman Philios?
Aye, motion's carried. Item number 28, Galena Consulting Contract. It's a discussion. Bill's not with us. Bill, did you call in yet? I guess not. Okay, so. Galena, for everybody's benefit, Galena Consulting is the company, it's the firm that drafts the agreements for the impact fees. And we currently have, I believe, 4 organizations that they provided us the legal contract for. Dave, I think you already looked at it, is that correct? Yes. Okay. And I don't think there's any issue. I don't know that we can discuss anything today in Bill's absence, but
Well, I was surprised it wasn't on for signature, that it was just on for discussion.
Just for discussion.
Yeah, we've noticed 2 minor corrections that we
Right.
could, since we're not approving it today, we'll get those changed and back on for next week, I
okay,
suppose.
great. And it's,
So-
I think it's $10,000 per entity, and there are 4 entities, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
4 areas that you're looking at, yes.
Could you recite those just for everyone's, is it on there?
Sure. Yeah, it is. So the categories are sheriff, jail, parks, and coroner. My concern, though, is that what happens to that $40,000 if we do not decide to move ahead with impact fees? Because we could get reimbursed on the backside. So is this just coming out of fund balance? Are we just kind of taking a risk? What is that money situation? I don't think it qualifies for contingency because this is definitely something that's not on fire. We can put off till next budget season. I'm not opposed to going fund balance, but I just want to make sure that we're all clear on that and have that discussion.
Yeah, and that's what we need to do, because well, clearly we don't know right now if we're going to approve the impact fees. My guess is we likely would, but if we don't, yeah, I guess you might say we're on the hook for the 40,000. If we do approve them, one of the ways we reimburse ourselves, so to speak, if we take it out of fund balance, is as we collect those fees. Yeah, going forward.
Yeah, we would just be one of those entities that would
Right.
have that fee in there, so.
Okay.
So we'll get that done
Get
for.
that done next week.
Yep.
Okay, last final item is the status update pending. BOCC discussion.
Yep. So the
Go right ahead.
facilities expansion, thanks, Dave. They are
Thanks, Dave.
meeting tomorrow. The stakeholders are with the new drawings going from a standalone building to the westward extension of the Justice Center. And so we've got, I don't know, I guess about 5 stakeholders. So I want to point out again, during the presentation all along, LCA and Corey Trapp have said it is not the best to put the public defender in this extension because of her requirements of having separate entrances. The judges not wanting public defense in the same building, prosecutor and public defense doesn't want prosecutor in the same building. It's a little bit of a, a little bit movement.
Rivalry?
So, no, I wouldn't say rivalry. There's legitimate reasons for it. There really is. So, so coming forward, it'll be the prosecutor. The prosecutor's in 5 different buildings. At least the public defender is in one building. They have new owners who are interested in a long-term lease, so beyond our 3 years, which we negotiated before. So they're willing to negotiate further as things progress and we find out exactly where this is going. So I just want to reiterate that for the record, because I know in the beginning this was kind of predicated on PD's homeless. I mean, they had no room. So now that they have plenty of room and room to grow, I think that portion has alleviated, but we still are dealing with the prosecutor in 5 separate buildings. That's not really an efficient way to run an office. So, and we'll need the 3 additional courtrooms for sure, because once again, jury trials are postponed. And we just cannot get this built fast enough as far as I'm concerned. So once the stakeholders meet on Wednesday and any tweaks are done, then LCA will come back before the board, show us what's going on, and we'll take next steps.
But if the public defender remains where they are, that's $15,000 a month.
Yes, it is. It is.
What's the hang up in moving them in?
Like I said, can't be with the prosecutor. Judges don't want them. So it's just kind
Like a
of
stepchild.
something like that. Something like that. But honestly, it's a constitutional office. So yes, it's a big expense, but they are also asking Public Defense Commission for
Money?
money. Yeah.
Gee, I hope so. Okay.
Oh, I know. But there's other options down the road, but we got to get through step 1 and then we can go through remaining steps after that.
Okay.
So,
Challenges.
yes.
PAC Airport lease.
I have not heard when PAC is meeting next. Do you know when they're? Nope, Stephen doesn't
So it's
know
in
either.
Wally's possession?
Well, and they've agreed on the lease. It just has to be signed by PAC before it comes to us for signature.
Got it. Okay. So we are in agreement? That's okay. That's a milestone. Financial snapshot, Dina, that's next week? Okay.
And I will not be here next week. I will be in Boise at the IAC meeting. Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. What's the next item here? I'm missing
Oh,
something.
I don't know. Okay, here we go. Impact fee analysis. So we kind of
We
talked
kinda
about
touched
where
on
that
that
was.
already.
We'll get it on for approval.
Next week?
Yep, when we identify the funding source.
Okay.
And North Lot land sale, I have constructed another letter reaching out. And once that letter is either responded to or not, then we have a next step already outlined through legal. So
Okay.
that's where we're at with that.
Next item?
Skeet and Gun Club, we talked this morning about what Stephen will present to the gun club board or those kinds of things. So
So you're waiting on us? Yes. Okay. Leslie, thoughts?
Oh, I just don't like it. I don't like the whole situation, but I think we'll get through it as we can. I don't see an issue with presenting this to them because it's all what we have. It's just a starting point. It's just a, hey, what do you think about this kind of thing?
Okay, so I see different scenarios here. Which one did you think,
The bottom one,
this one?
yeah. So it's actually, I think the two lower rows go together. So go ahead, Steve.
Go ahead, Stephen.
The one is, the middle one is the PAC one, the middle two are the PAC one, because that was extended out to 16 years. The bottom two are the 100,000, starting at 100,000, going up $40,000 or $50,000 each year. And then the last number is actually showing, okay, if they have 300 members, what is that impact on those 300 members per year? for
Right.
them?
Yeah. So it's just a starting point. It's not, nothing set in stone. But I do know, I briefly reviewed the statute, and the people, they do not have to own the land to be protected by the state.
Okay.
So,
So, Stephen, the last item, the last line. Okay, what are we showing there?
So
Breakdown of the additional cost per, go ahead.
So that is if they have 300 active members, what is that cost to each individual member
Per year.
per year?
Okay. Today, they don't charge, is that correct?
From what we just found out when I went back to my office, it's $100 per year
Yeah.
per member.
Per member.
yeah.
Per membership, or their website wasn't clear whether it was per family or per member. It just said $100 per year. It wasn't, we couldn't tell exactly what it was.
Okay, do we have any idea as to how they've reacted to these last two?
We haven't provided anything. As I said earlier this morning, I was attempting to meet with Steve Thurman, who's a board member,
Right.
and he didn't want to meet until after I received direction from you guys.
Okay, so if they were to implement this bottom line at $400 a year per member, is that where year one comes out to the 120,000
Yep. With 300 members.
with 300 members?
Yeah, so I imagine some of the members probably have their whole family involved, and so they're probably not going to take a family of four and want to
Yeah, that's right.
do $400 per person.
You know, I
so-
don't have a problem proposing this. Because again, to your point, Leslie, if it's a family, you give them a break. Obviously, you're not going to charge four people $400 a pop, but at least it's a step in the right direction. I don't know what a gun club would charge. Is $100 reasonable for a year? I mean, I have no idea.
Well, and if Spokane Gun Club is able to transfer a lot of their membership, then they may have the numbers to do something.
When I look at when they came in May, they said, they had 2,000 members or something like that. And I'm cutting that down significantly to 300. You figure families and individuals and
They may have 2,000 users because of all the high school
Right,
teams, and
right,
even
right,
the Governor's Cup is held there. So they may have 2,000 people come through. I mean, I've taken classes there, but I'm not a member, so.
You know, and this isn't a problem really, because if we present this, it's a starting point. And if they feel that $400 per person is too high, well, fine. What can you handle? How many members do you have? You know, what would a family plan look like? If you're short on your count at 300, and if it's 600, maybe $200 per member will suffice, and still get us to that figure you have in the line right above it.
the big thing is, like I said, we need to start moving in the process of getting them to market value.
Well, like you said, present it.
Mhm.
You okay with that?
Yep.
So
Okay.
I'll reach out to their board and present the last process.
The
of
last two lines, yeah.
last two lines.
Got it. Does that work for you?
That works.
Okay, was that our final item?
ARPA statement,
Oh, can you read it?
yes.
Thanks.
Requests for Kootenai County ARPA funding are now undergoing evaluation. If you have any questions or comments about the American Rescue Plan Act or Kootenai County's evaluation process, please direct them to the arpa@kcgov.us email address.
Thank you.
Leslie,
Yes.
I'm sorry, this is Jody. I beg your pardon. I was to, on behalf of the ARPA task force, let you guys know that we are requesting all final applications be sent to us no later than the 1st of March, 2022.
Okay.
Again, I apologize. I was to have contacted you before this moment.
No, you are totally fine. I will add that to the statement.
So March 1st of this year is the deadline.
Correct. Thank you.
What do the requests total at the present time, Jody? Is it over 80 million?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's closer to 100.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Goes up every week. Okay. Public comment? Nothing. 2:42, meeting adjourned. Thanks.